it's Soph. Welcome back to my channel. I'm coming at you today from a brand new camera setup, so the image quality may be a bit better than what you're used to, but don't you worry, the lighting and audio is still trash. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this tan is completely real because it's been so warm in central Alberta and sunny, and I've spent every spare moment out on our balcony, and that's why it's taken me so long to make this video, because my productivity has gone way down. So as you could tell from the title of this video, today I'm going to talk about 5 things that I believe your photographer wants you to know. I am a professional photographer. I started my business in October of 2019. I'm not going to do the math for you, and I can't tell you how many months that is off the top of my head, but you can figure it out yourself and let me know in the comments, please. So over my months running my business, I have learned so much about obviously photography and shooting, but interacting with clients, and I've already had many different experiences with clients, and I realized that I often found myself thinking that I wish my clients understood more of how the business works. And of course they don't. Like, they're not in the business, like they get their family photos done or their engagement photos or their wedding photos, and then that might be it for photography for them for quite some time. The intention here is not to bash my clients in any way. I absolutely love my clients. My clients are the only reason that I am where I am today. I have never had a session with a client that wasn't awesome. I had to adjust my camera because I realized that you could see the mess in our room that I didn't clean up because... So as I was saying, the purpose of this video is not to bash my clients in any way. I feel like I've had an opportunity to meet so many new and different people, and I love watching their lives on the Instagram. How old am I? Oh my gosh. I love watching their lives on Instagram and being able to capture and share memories with them. There's no ill intent in this video. The purpose of this video is purely educational and just for fun. I've had these things spinning around in my head for months now, and it's time to share them. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I have experienced so much already since I started my business is clients ghosting me, and I know that other photographers have had this experience too. A client will inquire about your price or about a package or whatever else, and then you answer their questions, tell them your price, and then oftentimes they just won't respond because you're not what they're looking for, they found someone cheaper, a whole number of reasons. But I was actually talking about this with one of my photographer friends the other day. There's actually certain instances where we would rather fill our schedule than make an extra $100 or $200 or whatever else. If I could tell potential clients one thing, it would be, let me know. Let me know if you can't afford me. Let me know what your price range is, and maybe we'll be able to figure something out. Maybe we do a shorter session with less photos, or maybe I take off travel or anything like that, because I love having the business, I need the business, and ultimately I want to be your photographer. Always let your photographer know if you can't afford them, and you never know what they might be able to come up with for you. That being said, photography I know can be quite expensive. I know there's a lot of people that don't want to pay however many hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars even for wedding photography. The reason that we charge so much is because not only do we spend an hour or 2 hours with you, but for me, an average 1-hour session, I spend 3 to 6 hours in editing time at least. Like, that's kind of just average for me. So you're also paying for all those hours of editing, plus the processing, getting contracts ready, organizing, travel, all those sorts of things. So that's part of the reason that we do have to charge a certain amount so that our time is being paid for and we're being paid what we're worth. This actually brings me to my next topic, and it's that this is not my hobby, it's not my side hustle, this is my livelihood. As creatives, sometimes we do need to take on part-time jobs or make other sources of income because we're not getting enough business in. Because when you own your own business, there's no guaranteed income. You don't know that you're going to go to work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and get your however much per hour every single week. So there is some times where we do have to do other things, but that is our side gig. Our other part-time jobs or projects, at least for me, that is my side gig. This is my career, this is my dream, this is my livelihood. Yeah, so this is not just for fun, it's not a hobby, this is This is my career. The next thing I want to talk about, I don't actually really want to talk about that much. I'm just going to touch on it a little bit, and it's the world of contracts and the legal issues and something that we like to call intellectual property. Intellectual property is defined as property that results from original creative thought as patents, copyright material, and trademarks, or an individual product of original creative thought. So technically, our work, our photography is intellectual property. Basically, no matter what, we own it. When it comes to promoting a business, that's where things can get a little bit tricky. So I always have my clients sign contracts. So I have them sign to confirm that we've agreed on the price that's stated, that neither of us can change it. I can't go back to you and say, actually, you owe me $50 more for whatever else. And also that I own all of the photos, and by paying me in full, that allows you as the client to use the photos. And another thing that I always have my client sign is something called a model release. Basically, by signing that, it allows me to post the photos on my website, on my Instagram, on social media. That almost falls under intellectual property in and of itself. I'm not a lawyer. I understand the basics and know that I need to protect myself in certain ways, so I can't really go into that too much. So no matter what, now in my business, I always have people sign contracts, and I know other photographers, I've had experiences where people come back and say, I don't want you posting these photos anymore, I don't want these photos seen, and it can get a little bit tricky when there isn't a contract signed, even though there is that area of intellectual property. But when there is a contract signed, you've given me full permission to use those photos on the internet to my discretion. So some people will come back to me and say, you know what, I'm going to sign this, but I really prefer that you didn't post a photo of me and my boyfriend kissing or doing whatever else, because they just don't want the whole world to see that, and that is like completely fine. I have no problem not posting those. Really the whole intent is just to be able to market my business and have pictures in my portfolio, so it's up to discretion. But as a client, always read contracts, always protect yourself and educate yourself, because it's your responsibility as much as it is ours as the photographer to protect yourself legally. So always know what you're signing. If you're working with a photographer that doesn't have contracts, maybe ask for one to be written up to help protect yourself as well. Always know what you're signing. That's just basic life advice. This kind of brings me to my next topic. This is my business, it's not personal. I photograph friends and family often, so that's where things can get like a little bit more tricky, although I've had great experiences with all of my friends. And also, as their family member or their friend, I want to make sure to honor their wishes, and I want them to be happy, and I want to protect them. And as well with all of my clients to a certain extent, I find as a photographer that I really bond with my clients. When you're up close in someone's face with a camera and you're asking them to be intimate in ways where they're holding hands and kissing and cuddling and sharing those loving looks, you really have to open up yourself to allow your photographer to come in. And as a photographer, I have to feel comfortable with you to ask you to do those things in front of the camera. So I 100% believe that the best way to capture photos is to bond with your clients, because then you can learn who they are and you tend to learn what they should be on camera, and you can direct them to be their full self on camera. That being said, when it comes to whether it's a legal issue or any sort of issue where there may be conflict between business and personal, unless it's my sister or my auntie or my very best friend, I'm going to choose my business first, and that's part of the reason we also have contracts in place. Like I said before, this is my livelihood, so I have to protect my livelihood. I have to make the best decisions for my business, and I don't want to trample on people. I want to protect people. I love people, but to a point, the business does come first. That being said, I love my clients. I love you all. I love spending time with you. I love knowing you. I love getting to know you. And I'm not even calling out anyone directly here at all, but this is my business. This is my baby. And it's my livelihood. So I need to protect that before anything else. The very last thing I wanted to say is that Every photographer has a different style. They take different pictures, they use different prompts, different poses, they edit differently. Like, I like my oranges to have a tad bit more yellow in them, and I don't like to have a lot of green in my photos, and just different things like that. So everyone has their own style. And to a point, I believe that there's certain things that you can ask of your photographer. If you find a photographer that you really vibe with and you like a lot, you can say, hey, like, can you do more detailed shots? Or can we try some more landscape shots? That's completely fine. If you were to come to me and say, hey, I really don't like that you do warm, moody, artsy style photos. I want you to do posed, perfect family photos, and I want full color integrity. I would be like, that's just not what I do. Like, I don't even know if I know how to do that, honestly. So when you're picking a photographer, don't just pick a person. Like, you want to vibe with your photographer, but choose someone whose style you like and are in love with. If you're hiring me and you love me but you don't love my style, I'm not going to be offended. Go find someone you love, and you know what, maybe we can figure out something else in the future when maybe it's not your wedding and you are not as particular about how you want your photos to look. Try not to ask photographers to change what they do and change their art too much. Find someone that you love and that produces a product that you're going to be really happy with. So that is all. Those are 5 things that your photographer wants you to know. If you're watching this video after watching my last video, which was a little feisty, thank you for coming back. Thank you for being here. If you're a photographer yourself, let me know if there is anything else that you wish that your clients would know. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to always protect yourself when it comes to matters of legality and contracts and anything you're signing. Always read it through for yourself. That is the best advice that I could give you throughout this entire video. See you next time.